after a year of being out, I'm finally making a video on this project. This project has been in the works for over a year, November 4th, 2023. Now, this project is something to help you scout in Vex VRC. This is mainly for implemented around VRC, but I'm assuming it can be adapted to IQ and stuff like that. For anybody who doesn't know what Vex is or VRC, Vex is a robotics company, and you can have events, and it's kind of a complicated thing to explain, but it's just robots accomplishing a goal that Vex sets, and they have to perform this goal good and score good. And you can you can write programs to make the robot drive itself. You can have skills, which is just driving solo. It's complicated, but part of this is scouting other teams, so you can get to know what that team can do and what that team's robot can do. So last year, I decided to start making a custom app to help my team do this. Now my team last year was not that good, but it was fun. This year, it's different, but whatever. That part doesn't matter. So, I made this app to help us scout, right? And my team likes it. Our notebooker, who is the primary scouter on our team, really likes the app. And the nice thing about this is it's not just a mobile app like VRC Robo Scout is. VRC Mobile Scout, it's really nice, but the problem is it's only on iOS, first of all, and you can't access it from your computer. So, what did I do? I went and made my own app. Now, when I was making this app, I didn't know about VRC Robo Scout. I do want to incorporate a lot of the features they have, though. For example, just this right here, the skills ranking, like worldwide. There's also a few things like what awards you qualify for. I think those would be pretty good. But currently, this allows you to put in custom information. So let me go into and show you. So the first main screen is what teams you have programmed in. As you can see, you can have some main teams. So these are my two main teams, and these are sister teams I want to keep track of. You can have any team here. It does not matter. As long as it's a valid team that's in Robo events, you can pull it from here. So let's go into one of these teams. Let's go into this S team right here. When you go into click on a team, you can see events and locations. These are all the events that the team has scheduled. So, for example, this team 74 days ago had a event at Griffin's Middle School. You can use Google Maps. You can click this link. It'll even open a new tab, right? And you'll get the location of where it is, which is really nice. And if you use Apple Maps, that's also supported. You could just click it, and it'll take you to the location, which is really nice. Again, there's also a countdown of how many days until the competition or this event. It also says this, and then if you click on the Go page, you'll actually go to the event. So let's go to the one that was this one, right? This one I know has, this isn't going to have any information, but that's okay. If we go into our matches, you can see that the team you selected, so in this case 6627S, will be selected. And if you click on the Our Matches dropdown, you'll see all the matches this team has. Now, if the event has not pushed out data yet, or let's say you're scouting for an event coming up, you can see that it'll look like this. And you might see this temporarily as the page loads in, as this does server-side rendering, which makes the page load a lot faster, helps the page load a lot faster. As you see, this event hasn't started yet. This event is in 2 days, so it has not loaded any data. However, you can go into the teams and see the teams that will be at this event. So these are all the teams that will be at the event. Now, if we go back to the event that's already happened, you'll see that these are all the qualifier matches. So we have qualifier 5, 10, and as the matches go on, the scores will automatically populate here. You can see the start time and the time until. There's also a shift time. That's not really working right now as of version 2. Version 2.1, this should be fixed though. Yeah, version 2, I implemented server-side rendering, and yeah, it's a little bit scuffed, but it's okay. The primary basis of the app works. So, number one, the team that you have selected is going to be highlighted in yellow. And then for the match information, you'll see that it'll give you the team color, and the team color will also be the color of the text. So let's say this blue, red. As you see, red team is, if you're red, it's going to be red. If you're blue, it's going to be blue. It'll also show you what field you're going to be on. So field 1, field 2, the time until the match, right? So this will be a positive number normally, but this match has already happened, so it's before. You'll also see the all the teams playing in the match. So for this one, you'll see that 667 and 179E are the blue alliance, and 11444X and 1040C are the red alliance. And now this number right here, normally it'll be 0 if the match has not been played yet, but if the match is played, then you'll see the score of the match. So for example, blue team got 23 and red team got 32, which means, and the higher score is highlighted in yellow, and this is the team that won the match. So that's just for the matches. You can also click on all matches and you'll get all the matches. Once again, if your match is here, you'll see that it'll be populated, same kind of yellow thing. It'll show your match, but you can also see the other team's matches. So you can see that this blue team won this match. Again, still yellow for the team that got the highest score. And if your qualifier match is here, it'll be highlighted in this, and your team number will also be highlighted. So that's for the matches. Now moving on to the team section, you can see that this is the team section. So recently I've added a lot more information to this tab. Before, it was just kind of the team number and what ranking they are. But now I'm showing a lot more information. For example, I'm showing their wins, their loses, their ties. I'm also showing all the auton information. So for example, win points and autonomous win points, as well as their highest scoring match, and their average score and their total score. This is just basic information that's being pulled down from robot events that I'm displaying here. So I'm not actually doing any of these calculations. So if they're wrong, that's on robot events, not me. Now moving on from the skills, I'll come back to the clicking on the teams. And now moving on, you can see the skills. As you see the skills, it's kind of a little bit iffy right now. It's just kind of splattered on there. For example, their total driver is 90, or their total skills is 91, their driver is 52, and their programming is 39. So as you can see, and this is sorted by the rank, and the rank is the highest total score. Currently, I know in robo events, you can actually see how many runs they've done. I do want to implement that, but this is just kind of getting it on the screen, seeing what my team and other teams think. And now moving on to the actual notebooking part, because this is just simply showing the matches. So if we click on, let's just go to my team, for example. You'll see that we get, loaded data. So you'll see that we get a, oh, I don't have to, hold on. So sorry about that. You'll see that when you click on a team, it brings up this page, which is the scouting page. Yay! So, the scouting page shows all the information you can possibly put in. So, for example, you can say their drive, so you can put their drive speed. Again, these are kind of unrealistic numbers. This is just all filler data. This can all be customized, by the way. That is why there was originally nothing here. It's because you can customize it, which is really nice. And you can use JavaScript or JSON to customize this. And you can even change it. You can even add to it. You can remove it, and it'll still be here. For example, you can select a driving style. They can say whether or not they have an intake, how consistent it is, what their speed of the intake is, their type of. So, again, lots of options here. You can just go ham. Like, it is crazy. It mainly uses the input HTML thing. Again, there's going to be a lot more documentation on this eventually, if I get to it. Anyways, for example, you can add, notes here. You can say whether or not they're a good pick, a bad pick. You can pick even both. You can say whether or not this team is fully scouted, so if you have actually talked to them, or if this is just data you've gathered from watching matches. Another nice thing, we used this mostly last year. I don't really see this being used all that much, but I still like to keep it here. Is this little like help query things. So for example, if you click on open, it'll automatically open YouTube and search up that team as well as the game name. So this just has the potential for seeing some sort of reveal. Again, this team doesn't have one. My team doesn't have one. It doesn't matter. So that'll be there. You'll also, if you have a file uploaded, you'll see it appear here. We don't. Let me add one real quick. So when you upload an image, you'll get this loading bar that slowly shows that it's uploading. This is running locally, so it instantly happened. But if you're running this on a remote server, then it might take a second. And then boom, you'll see this big picture of the robot come up. This might take a second to load because you might be on cell data or whatever. And yeah, so it's just a really nice app. You can also see the team's matches. And this changes the wording is team is red. So for example, if we want to see these guys' matches, the 1437Z's matches, we can pull that up and see, oh, Q1, Q10, Q14, and you can also see they made it all the way up to semifinals. Nice. They got just on by our C team, whatever. So yeah, it's just a really nice little app that I've been making in my free time. For whatever reason, robot events, when it comes to the quarterfinal matches and past round of 16, it gets a little scuffy on the field information. I haven't looked into that. I've been meaning to, but whatever. Again, there's going to be a lot more things eventually coming to this. If you have any ideas, let me know. I'll probably end up adding them if I think they're cool. And I just think this is cool. I've been meaning to share it. And stuff. So I like it. Keep in mind, if the data is not on Vex VR or robot events, that this will just be completely blank. This pulls all the information from robot events. So that's how that works. If you don't care about any of the server stuff, you can stop watching. That's it. So moving on to the code. Oh, also, the page will reload after 5 minutes, which I think is nice. If you click on OK, what it'll do is it'll ask the server to re-render the page and plop it on there. This is just nice if, let's say, you open up the web page and it's been 5 minutes and you turned off your phone, you turn it back on, and it'll say, hey, you haven't reloaded the page in 5 minutes, and then boom, you can reload it easy. So now moving on to the code side. So this code, it does code all right. That's gonna be my opinion about it. It does. It do. I'm gonna actually look at the GitHub, kind of walk through the README. So again, we have this team selector page. We have the team events, and then we have the actual event information. And then we have the team scouting page, and then we have kind of just the versions area, and then the API layout. This is kind of just the API layout that the backend uses. Again, the server-side rendering is not documented yet. Anyways, yeah, so that's that. Again, bleh. There's the how-to, so this is just, just more information about the layouts, which will need to be updated eventually. This is kind of just describing all the routes and what they do. Again, just the skills and stuff, the scouting team page and all that stuff. And then, the data layout. The data layout isn't explained. I'll explain it this time, though. So I think that's it for now. Yep. And then to-do. This is just my to-do list. Again, there's a lot of things eventually coming. This is not compatible for Worlds, as my team last year didn't go to Worlds. So I didn't have to worry about making a division selector. Yay! This one's probably going to end up getting scrapped, and it's kind of already, I don't know. We'll see. Video support, this would be nice. If you record your matches, you could upload them and then preview them. Highlight many picture support. Again, a lot of these things, they're eventually probably going to maybe get done. just keep in mind, this is my last year of doing Vex. I am a senior, so I graduate this year. Um, I I think I'm gonna try to stay in the robotics scene. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Um, so as for the code side, it's code, all right. I mean, it 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 it, it do. You can see a little bit of the server side rendering we do here. Um, yeah, it's it's something. I want to quickly go over the layouts. So layouts can be either in JSON or in JS files. It doesn't matter. If it's a JS file, it'll execute it and then read it. This doesn't do any async checking. I probably should implement that in case you make like a call to like an API and you want to wait for that API to respond. But currently it's just expecting an output. This is mainly if you have like repetitive inputs. So for example, I have some fillers here, so like what their consistency is and their speeds. So I just have a little bit of a script that fills out that speed thing, so I can have 0 to 1,000 RPM kind of thing. Again, a little bit unrealistic, but this is just some example layout stuff. You can make this super detailed. You don't have to do it exactly what I'm doing. An example, info value. So just you get a bunch of like values. Again, it's a little difficult to explain. I hope that I write documentation for this. So again, as you see, this scouted type is the checkbox, and the name is done. So if we quickly go on over to a team, let's go to a team. Yeah. So you'll see that it's done. Done is this, and then this is just the database key that it pulls from. So this is what's shown, and this is what's saved in the database. So I don't recommend changing this value here. Only change the name. So like if you want to rename this to like something else, then you can do that. So that's the and then this is an array. So the first thing is kind of like the main subject line. So this is scouted, and then it's an array of objects with type, name, and value. A better example of this is kind of like the drive. So the select, it's a select field for the driving style. It's a select field, so it's a drop down, and the value on the database is style. So this will be drive.style for the in the database, and then the values, as you can see, are none, defense, and offense. So these are the selected values. Again, these values right here can be anything. They don't have to be 1 and 2 0. It doesn't matter. They can be anything. This could be like Bob or something. It does not matter. This is just what the database saves. I recommend keeping this to a number though. So that's what I would do. And then the name is what the drop down value is. And then, let me see, is there anything else I need to go over? Not really. Again, this uses an input box by default. So if you want to see what all is compatible, you can look up HTML input tag and then click on the first result, which should be W3 schools. These guys are really nice. So you can see all the inputs that should be supported. 50-50 if it is. Again, button, checkbox, color, date, time, local, email. All these are probably supported. Again, I have not tested all of these because it doesn't really make much sense to have anything other than a checkbox. And that's probably about it, realistically. I just did a little thinking. It does not support range, I think. Depends how range works. I don't know. Probably shouldn't be saying I don't know, but it's fine. Again, so for the note taking, that is important though. As you see, the type is text box. That allows you to get an actual like wider kind of text box that you can like make smaller and bigger. If it was just a normal HTML or input text box, you wouldn't be able to adjust the size of it. So like, let's say your notebook goes on a spree about something this team did mid-batch. You know, they need to get their words onto the page as quick as possible. Save. Updated data, right? now you, instead of having to like look at the, oh man, now I gotta scroll through it, you can expand it out. And man, that notebooker did some typing that match. Oh boy, typing about this team. Oh man, this team is again, yeah. So that's about it for like what you need to do coding wise. There's also like you need to add the robot events API key. Again, config example should kind of explain all this. As you can see, these are the teams, the main teams. So these are the teams that show up in like let me just go to here. These are the teams that show up in bold here, the big teams. And then for the sub teams, these just show up as tiny teams. And then the robot events API key you just put here. And then you're pretty much set. And this does have some robot events API caching as well. So that way, when someone loads the page, we're not just constantly hitting the robot events API, as that's just a great way to get rate limited. So this does cache the results, which is very nice and does work. As you can see, we save the URL that we requested, and we save the response. And we also save how long it's been since we've fetched that result. And for certain API endpoints, it only waits 1 minute before marking the response we got as bad. So that means it'll make another call to the robot events API instead of using the cache result, which is very good. This just allows you to see up to date information quicker instead of the cache just holding on to the result. And all of the routes should automatically refresh every, like, I don't know what the config is. I should probably know, but like I just get on my dopamine high and just start typing. I'm gonna be honest. So again, a lot of this code does have JS docs if you do want to go into it and tinker around with it. Again, I personally really like this whole thing, as I've designed it, so of course I'm gonna like, gas it up, and I love this thing. But I also love how it works on my phone, how it works, on my laptop. I can use this anywhere. I don't have to, whip out just my phone, or it's a Windows app. It is a website. It's a website you can, just open up. Now, I do say in the GitHub that this is meant to be deployed on site. So what that means is, your team brings a router and you run this project on that router. Honestly, that's not a big deal. If you have like a Cloudflare thing, you could probably just run it on there using a Cloudflare tunnel. It's not that big of a deal. You could even open the port. Again, there is no login for this, so if somebody does find this, they can end up just griefing all of your data. That is a very important thing to mention. Also, a point of attack is when the data from here is uploaded. Whatever data you upload is written. It does not do any sort of type checking or any sort of checks in general. It immediately writes whatever is inputted here into the database. So that is why I say you should deploy this on site. But in my experience, as long as no one, like peeks over your teammate's shoulder and snags the URL and starts messing around, you should be okay. It does not matter. Again, and if that does happen, unlucky. Change the port and move on. Like, that's what I would do. But again, this is a great app. I might implement a login system. I also want to implement a system where you can grab data from a different event and import it into a team, because sometimes people just make improvements to their bot and they don't completely redesign it. So you want to use that previous data, or see if you've gone to a competition with a team before. These are features that I'm just now thinking of. And yeah, again, do expect this GitHub repo to kind of just die after this year. Again, I will try and keep it up to date, but this is my last year of Vex, unfortunately. Again, gonna try and stay in the field. I think this is a cool game, but I'm old, apparently. I don't know how that happened, but whatever. So yeah, if you end up using this, if you end up seeing this, that's cool. Again, 667S I'm the programmer for that team. And yeah, so I think this is a cool little app. It has all the features that I want currently. Again, my team is looking like we're going to end up going to possibly Worlds, so I might end up implementing a division selector, which is highly, highly important for Worlds. Also, I just find this a little bit better than Vex VR. I just find Vex VR clunky. I don't know how to describe it. And also, they have completely different app versions compared to iOS and Android, which makes absolutely no sense. Why do you have two completely different apps? It's the same app. One app, you can mark a team as your favorite and view all their events. On Android, you can't do that. You can mark a team as your favorite, but you... Anyways, Vex VR is wonderful. So, yeah. Robot, again, VRC Robo Scout is a great option if you want an app on your phone. I don't really like it because you can't use it on Android. You can't use it on the computer. Again, from what I know. Maybe you can. I don't know. But currently, this has the features that I like. Again, there should probably be a design remake. But honestly, I can't help you there. And a team will be like a different color. Let me go back to that event. Which event was it? Well, it was the one at Griffin, was it? If the team does have data, you'll see that it'll be highlighted. We did not do this bad. If there is data inputted on it, it'll show. So like if we say this team is scouted, save. If any of these fields are filled out, by the way, it'll show. Also, pressing cancel will just reload the page, so that way you can just reload the page quickly. And if a team has data, you'll see it appear as green. If it's lime, that means it has data with a picture. So this just kind of helps move my team to hopefully take pictures of people's robots. Who says if it happens, but that's all right. So yeah, I hope you end up at least looking at this. It is pretty cool. If I do implement a login system, I will make this public. I do kind of want to make this public end of the day. I think this is a really nice app. So hopefully I do make a login system, and you can even log in with like your own team and have your own data. But who knows? Might happen, might not. Depends what I do. But if you like this, then check it out. See if you can run it. Don't know. It's just Node.js. It should be pretty straightforward to deploy. If you need any help, make an issue or even hit me up on Discord. I don't have any of my Discord information here, but you can find it on my GitHub profile, in the description. But yeah, so that's my custom scouting sheet. I think it's cool. You might not. You probably don't, but that's okay. Anyways,